All right, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about the 6-2 remembering side of our homework. Write that up here so you know what I'm talking about. Feel free to ignore any meowing or rustling you might hear. It's almost the kittens' dinner time, and they're definitely cranky that I'm doing math instead of feeding them. All right, so the remembering side has a couple of different sections on it. The one at the top is asking you to multiply fractions. I definitely wanted to go over that just really, really quickly in case you were still struggling. Number 1 has 6/7 times 42 equals blank. Right on. There are a couple of different ways we can handle this. But my favorite, and the one I totally recommend, is turning 42 into an improper fraction. I can write a whole number in an improper fraction form by just putting a 1 underneath it as the denominator. Still the same number, still has the same value, but this way, I don't have to do anything else. When we multiply fractions, we can multiply just straight across. 7 times 1, 7. Whoa, Nelly. Now I have 6 times 42. Definitely want to take a second to make sure that I'm doing that math right. I'm going to do it vertically, right over here. 2 times 6, sorry guys, I'm going to try to block that glare. 2 times 6 is 12, write that 2, carry my 1, 4 times 6 is 24, plus that 1 is 25. Alright, I now have 252 over 7. That obviously needs to be simplified. So, in order to simplify it, 7 over here, 252 in the house, right? I've got a big cowboy riding my horse, and I can translate that into my house-style division. Let's see if I can move my camera to get rid of that glare just a little bit. Perfect. All right, I know that I can't put 7 into 2, so I have a 0. But I can put 7 into 25. I can do that 3 times, and I get 21. I get a 4 left over. I carry down my 2. Excellent. 7 goes into 42 6 times. So, 252 over 7 actually just equals 36. Easy peasy. If you wanted to skip some of these extra steps that I had to do over on this side, what you might want to do is simplify. If I have 6 over 7 times 42 over 1, there are numbers in these that go into all of them. I'm wrong about that, aren't I? What? This is a strategy we didn't talk a whole lot about in class. If you're not comfortable with the strategy or any part of this confuses you, do not do it. Do not do it. Stick with this first one. But I thought for some of you, it'd be really fun to sort of cover this. So, in cases like this, I can cross-simplify. I can look at 7 and 42 and say, okay, 7 goes into 42 6 times. So what this does and tells me is that this 7 goes in there once and goes into this 42 6 times. 6 times 6, 36 over 1, which we know is 36. It is a lot easier and faster to do it, but I'll be totally honest with you. Mrs. Beatty to the power of 2 definitely had to help me with that. And if it confuses you, don't worry about it. It's just another way to write this out or to think about it. But if this first method works better for you or you have more accurate answers that way, stick with it. Even if it's a little bit harder, I'd rather you guys do the work and get the right answers than try to take shortcuts that you don't understand.